Savage. Historical perspectives on the savage.
In history, the term savage was sometimes used to describe groups unfamiliar to the observer. However, this term often reflected bias. It rarely represented an objective view. Instead, savage often labeled cultures as uncivilized. This perspective was frequently used by colonizers. They used it to justify their actions. One example involves early European colonists in North America. They often described indigenous peoples as savage. This was because indigenous cultures differed greatly. Colonists viewed their own ways as superior. Therefore, they labeled indigenous practices as savage. This viewpoint ignored the complexity of indigenous societies. Another instance involves descriptions of warring factions. During conflicts, opposing sides might label each other as savage. This dehumanized the enemy. It made violent actions seem more acceptable. For example, historical accounts sometimes portray enemy tribes as savage. This served a propaganda purpose during wartime. In summary, within history, savage was a term used to label unfamiliar groups as uncivilized, often reflecting the biases of observers, as seen in colonial descriptions of indigenous peoples and wartime propaganda. It is important to understand the problematic nature of this term.
So, savage means describing someone or something as wild, brutal, or uncivilized. It's a strong word that often shows a biased or negative viewpoint. Synonyms include wild, brutal, and uncivilized.